Hey, good evening. Good evening to Australia it is.
Good morning up there in Europe, Jochen. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you again here. Thank you very much for taking the time. Mawson Gold, really a lot is going on with your company. You just brought out that you have defined 2 new areas in the first winter drilling results from Finland, and you had like 70 meters with 1.6 gram gold equivalent at the hut and 1.5 meter with almost 20 grams gold equivalent at Yoki East. So what's going on there? And it looks like that hopefully a new resource estimate will come out soon.
New resource estimate in July. We're on track for that. So we've just spent $5 million, 20 kilometers of drilling. I think there's something like 2/3 of those drill holes still to come, Jochen. So you'll see more of those drill holes coming out between now and June, when all the assays will be received. It was a very good start, as we say down under here, a bloody good start in the first results, which defined 2 new areas, Yoki East, as you mentioned, and the hut. So thin, high grade at Yoki East, a sort of ounce dirt at 1.5 meters, and then the opposite. The system is developing very interestingly, where we're seeing 70 odd meters developing in mineralization at about a gram and a half. So underground grades and open pittable grades, you could say, between those two. So a lot more information to come, a hell of a lot more drill results. Keep your eyes open. Literally, we've got thousands and thousands of assays coming out of the assay lab. And then, of course, we're going to build this project and make it bigger at the same time. So we're rezoning the land use. So we've got a land use rezoning that started. We've started our EIA studies, which is all part of the early stages of mining. So we know we have a project of merit here. We've got to put some economic numbers around our resources at some point within the next year. But you can see where this project is going. It's already the 7th largest cobalt resource in Europe. I think we'll move up to the 6th largest cobalt resource in Europe, and it's only a cobalt byproduct. This is a gold project with a cobalt byproduct. So we're a strategic project in Finland and in Europe. It's one of the bigger gold projects already in Finland, and remembering we've got the largest gold mine in Europe up the road from us in Kittilä. So it's already got the pedigree in the area, and when we're heading on a similar path.
Fantastic. Yeah, I also wanted to ask you about the cobalt, because it seems to me, if I look through your press release, that the cobalt values are going up.
Yeah, it seems to be their case. You've got a very sharp eye there. They're around 500 or 600 parts per million in the shallower areas, but as we're drilling in new areas and in deeper areas, we're seeing sort of the 1,000 to 2,000 parts per million, and it's around about 1,200 parts per million as equivalent at the current prices to about a gram of gold. So we're seeing about an extra gram of gold coming from that byproduct, and it's varying, it's changing, it's thick and very thick and low grade mineralization, or very thin and very high grade, and they all work, and then the cobalt is playing a larger role in some areas that we're seeing. So one thing in exploration is that geologists think they're smart. I'm a geologist, but we're always surprised on both the upside and downside, and that's what makes these companies such a wonderful proposition, right? Because if you get it right and surprise on the upside, it can be a wonderful outcome, not only through discovery, but through value creation.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I saw also is, you said it, when you go deeper, but the deeper, for example, is 117 meters. That's not really deep, yeah? And the other one is 100, 126, 143 meters, yeah? This looks to me a little bit like, I don't know if it's already open pittable, but there might be a chance, if you can prove more up of that this might be an option.
Well, I go to jail if I start putting economic scenarios around
no, of course not,
mineralization.
Yeah.
But what I can say is that we have mineralization starting from surface just below a few meters. It has a scenario where it could be open pittable, and then the grades you need sort of 3 grams. So it's probably, you can mine less than that, but you'd like to see more than 3 grams. Kittila mines underground at 4 grams. So they're the kind of numbers you start to want to see when you go underground, and certainly we've got those grades as well. So so we've got the grades to carry both styles of mining.
Exactly. This is what I wanted to have said here. I mean, it's way too early, Jesus Christ, and you cannot do any forward-looking statements here. That's also for sure. But I meant, it looks to me like if you hit another, I don't know, 50, 100,000 meters in that and make it like Swiss cheese with a lot of holes, it looks to me very promising. This is what I wanted to say.
Thank you. And it absolutely is.
Yeah, great. Let's move to Australia.
It's another critical metal. If you look at many of the critical metal supplies around the world, China dominates the antimony supply. It's used in electronics. It's used in fire suppressants. Most things that still don't burn are used. It's used to harden as an alloy to harden certain metals. But it's one of those elements in the Western world that we really don't have enough of. So it's a specialty metal. But this was mined, this project in around the World War I for antimony, because it made lead harder, and it made the tents and uniforms of soldiers not burn. So it was a very key commodity even back then for those reasons. But certainly it's very much the gold pays here. As a matter of interest, the highest grade gold mine on Earth last year was Fosterville, of course, which is just down the road from us. It's a similar style that we have, a gold antimony quartz style. The sixth highest grade gold mine is just up the road from us also, Costerfield. So we have 2 of the top 10 gold mines within 50 kilometres or less of our project with the same geology. But Costerfield is also a top 5 mine in the world, including China, for antimony. And this is very similar in style to that project. So we have very significant gold antimony mines in our back door here, and we're finding another one of them.
Fantastic. So that would be for you also great byproduct to say, because when I look at your list of sample results you have here, it varies from 0.5% antimony to even 13.8%. Why is it that hefty in the variation?
It just depends how much it dilutes, basically, because we have we have areas that are almost massive antimony, and they carry a lot of gold over the sort of 30 or 40 centimeters, and that's what Costerfield is. And what parts of Fosterville are, which are the mines just down the road. And then if you want to bulk it out to what could work as an underground mining grade, remember we can think about sort of 3 grams per ton as sort of what you'd like to see as an underground grade. So if we we give our intercepts with those sort of visions in mind, then that's the average grade that the antimony comes down. Now, about 1% antimony is about 1 gram per ton gold on equivalent basis at equivalent at current prices, just to give you a bit of an idea.
Okay, super. And it's also, of course, if we talk about a future production scenario, it's not rocket science to really get the gold and the antimony out of the rock. It's a standardized process.
No, absolutely. It's down in Costerfield. I can talk about that as a similar style. They have gravity recovery for 50% of their gold, and then they have a flotation process that separates the rest of the gold and the antimony.
Fantastic. So next steps in Australia, what do you want to do?
That's a nice leading question. So our aim has been fairly well enunciated, that we have in Finland a project that we're going to build and make bigger, and that's got its own path. And now these Australian assets are really at an earlier stage, but going down their own path towards a separate a separate future, if you like. So it makes sense to divide the assets, and our aim is to do so probably this year sometime, where we list the Australian assets separately, whether that's here on the ASX or in Canada. But shareholders in Mawson, as of the day we make that decision and the record date when the company splits, would then benefit from having two companies, one with a Finnish asset in Canada and then one with a separate list of Australian assets. And what we see here, we've got the drill rig turning continuously at this project in Sunday Creek that we've just been talking about. It hasn't stopped. We're doing thousands of soil samples. We've done lots of geophysics. We're trenching, and you'll see some great results come to the table over the coming month or so, and really you'll see this project develop, and it's already started to do that, and I've just got a very good sense for this project where it is a standalone project by itself now, and that's why we're making those decisions. If we're going to have another big season next season, the one we've just finished in Finland, then we need to raise further capital for that. But at the moment, when we're going through these restructuring concepts, and they're only concepts, that we won't raise more capital, no. And we've got enough to keep drilling in Australia and do summer drilling in Finland.
Fantastic, super. So that's also a good outlook for the shareholders. Lots of upcoming news releases, I would call it, from all your drill programs. And please keep us posted on that. Wish you all the best. Thank you very much, Michael.
Thank you, Jochen.
Super, thank you. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was Michael Hudson from Mawson Gold, and you heard it. Still a lot of results will come up here from Finland. Also, the drills are turning there, but also the drills are turning in Australia. And two projects, well, they might be split off. We will see what happens, what the decision of the management is here, but it always makes sense then to get concentrated. But one thing is also for sure, those are two fantastic projects. The guys are doing a great work, and for Finland, there will come out in July a new resource estimate, and I have a feeling that the resource will be much higher than we saw. So from that side, please check out the company. Thanks for watching us, and bye-bye from Switzerland.